Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
Heat warning that's up for Minneapolis. It starts today at noon and actually goes through tomorrow at 8 p.m. and it does include the overnight, which I did a double check on because often these warnings are just in effect for the daytime, but nighttime temperatures are not dropping out of the low 70s. That's a big deal for us in Minneapolis, especially if you don't have air conditioning. You'll watch that heat index and that feels like up here into the upper 90s for several hours starting this afternoon and continuing 7 o'clock. It still feels like 97 degrees outside. If you have to cut the grass or anything, I mean, do that right now, actually, because the heat is building. So this big ridge of high pressure is the reason why we will feel it in Kansas City and Chicago and Green Bay, where Green Bay, I just checked, we just had temperatures in the 70s for the last 4 days. So here we go. We're jumping right to the 90s, and it feels like up near the triple digits. Chicago, that's you. St. Louis, that's you. Look at your forecast. This is on Sunday, where the feels like temperature heading up to the upper 90s by lunchtime and then above 100 for most of the afternoon, still upper 90s into the evening with that feels like temperature. Seek shade, extra fluids. New York City, we're glad to get a break today from the heat, but it's back by Sunday. And look at Monday, 90 to watch here. It is busy in the tropics here. So let's take a look at the globe. And, we've been talking a lot about Tropical Storm Hannah. That's right here as we look out over the Gulf of Mexico. This, of course, is, front and center for us because this is heading towards Texas in the next 24 to 36 hours. But we've got two other threats that we're keeping a close eye on in the Atlantic. So let's get to that. Let's go out to what's happening for you with Gonzalo. This is heading over towards the southern Windward Islands. And this is going to be an area that we're watching also in the next 24 to 36 hours. The timing is actually very similar to what we've been talking about with Hannah. So let's continue to look at the 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm Gonzalo. What it's been fighting in the last day or day and a half or so has been the dry air. And you can see that all of the orange that you see here on this water vapor map, that's the dry air. It somehow has been able to at least maintain some strength. It quickly ramped up at the beginning, and then it sort of looked less impressive yesterday on satellite. But it's really tiny. It's only 25 miles here from the center to the extent of the tropical storm force conditions. And we know that tiny storms can surprise us. They can ramp up quickly, but they also can go down quickly as well. And so when you look at this forecast, and you just first maybe your eyes go to what the projected strength is going to be, potentially a hurricane as it approaches the Windward Islands, the potential is there. But the potential is there for it to be weaker as well, just because it is a small system, and we know it could rapidly succumb to changes in the environment. One is that dry air that it's going to be dealing with. But still, we have to look at sort of the worst case scenario, right, which is that we could have a hurricane approaching the southern Windward Islands. We've got that probability of tropical storm force winds. And as we watch the track here, it looks like actually Barbados, which is right here, south of there's a higher chance of getting into those tropical storm force winds. So I know you're under hurricane watch, you're under tropical storm warning in Barbados, but right now, based on the track here, it looks like the strongest of the winds from this tiny little system will go just south. Just look at the distance between Barbados and then to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's about 100 miles. This thing is only 25 miles big. If you look at the distance between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, that's about 50 miles. So it's possible it could pass right in between there. We're watching the potential for it to be a hurricane. A tropical storm, probably the more likely thing. Then behind it, off the coast of Africa, we've got another tropical wave. And this is the new area to watch here from the National Hurricane Center. This has a 30% chance of development. Not right now, but we look at the next 5 days. And actually, we're going to watch this for the next 5, 7, maybe even 10 days as it tracks here over the Atlantic. It has the potential to develop. I mean, it's a little early, Jim, to see all these waves come off with a decent chance of development. But look, it's 2020, so we know how this year has been going.
So, Jen, should we get used to saying EC